Read the question carefully. Use all your techniques. Elimination technique primarily. You will leave your answer in the chat box. This is pretty fast from you guys, huh? I got most of the answers already. Wow. Wow, so fast. Let's give another 3-4 seconds. The rest of them will answer. Okay, I got a decent number of people who answered. Let's invite one of them to give an idea what they think about it. Let me pull one of you. Maybe I see a name, Nanda Kumar, if you are in mic. Nanda
Hi,
Kumar,
Shri. Yeah.
very good. So, Nanda Kumar, before you go to the answer, want to listen from you. What is your key thing in this question? What is your observation in this question?
So this question was addressed to me to the software development project to the project manager, and
Okay. Okay.
so we are in mid of the execution phase, and there is a request for change in scope,
Hmm. Hmm.
which was agreed initially. So
Maybe.
what midway
Hmm.
midway through the we are in between the execution phase,
Okay.
and we receive a request from the key stakeholder. He may be a customer or the external stakeholder within the team, and he is asking for a major change in scope.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. All right. Now,
Yeah.
all right, good. Thanks. So, looking at this, what is your thought? What could be a good answer here?
I would prefer to go with option B. So first we need to evaluate the uh, change on scope. What was the changes which is agreed, and what was the ask now, and what is the impact on schedule, timeline, and cost.
Okay,
This is
that's
the
your
first
thought.
option we do. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good thought. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kumar. Thanks. Shiv Kumar, I saw you put your hands up there. You want to share something?
Yeah, Shri. So, Shri, I will be going like one by one why we selected the respective, objective out of these four. So the question here is like they ask to change the architecture itself in the mid of the development, right? So implementing the change directly, like immediately satisfying the stakeholder is not should not be the approach. Why? Because we cannot go and implement it without checking it what the scope of that architecture is, what is the schedule, and how
Mm-hmm.
much cost impact it is going to be happened. So for me it is like the B, the answer should be the B. And we cannot directly escalate the request to the senior management. Why? Because first we have to analyze and understand what exactly they want us to change in the architecture and what schedule we are going to follow. So all these things we have to check and update the project plan and inform the team. So first we have to evaluate all these things like the B option, and based on that we are just going to discuss with the senior management. Then last thing comes in like update the project plan and inform the team. So the first that we need to do as a part of course of action, that should be B out of these three.
Okay. Very sound explanation.
Yeah.
Really like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shiv Kumar, for that. Generally, I'll ask this question now. Looking at the question, they're saying you are managing a software development project. The moment you use the word managing, let's assume that we are in a place of making a decision. We don't know what is the role mentioned there. as we are talking from PMP perspective, let's assume it's a project management role. Sometimes you call as a scrum master, product owner, agile manager. So they didn't put any role. They gave a, you are managing, you are in the control of taking a decision. Midway through the project, let's keep an example like this. There is a banking system which has been developed, and the banking system is going like this. You have different milestones. There's a project started in 2024, somewhere in August. Now we are in 2025, and the project is expected to close in 2026. Let's imagine this way. And somewhere in midway, let's imagine a lot of deliverables has been given in the market already, right? It is already given somewhere like this because they use the word software development. I can assume that they're going on an incremental approach. Let me assume it's an incremental approach this way. Now, there is a key stakeholder. I don't know who this person is. Like somebody said the key stakeholder could be a sponsor, right? Could be, or could be some design engineer, or we call them SME. What SME stands for? SME stands for
Subject matter expert.
Subject
subject
matter expert.
matter expert. Could be there, or could be an end user. Now, point is, we and mute some of you. So now what happened is it's a major change happening. Now my question is major change that too on the architecture. Now let's imagine it's a banking system. Okay, banking. If it's a banking system and midway through the project, somebody is introducing a major change. It's a major change. Now the question is, they're asking what you do first action. This keyword in this question is first. I would have said this how to read a question. When you read a question, first thing you have to read who is being targeted. By the way, some of you learned yesterday's class. We put certain things to learn while you read a question. What are that? If anyone remember from yesterday's class?
What is the sense?
Who is
First,
Ah,
the
Showstopper.
showstopper, last line technique.
okay. So who is important? Tense of the question is important, and you look for is it a major showstopper? Now, I took an example of a banking system. You can take as a travel agency. You can take as a medical device software development. You can take as a new printer coming from Canon. They want to go with the software. I'm not sure which device, which product or a public service. I really don't know what it is. But they use the word midway. Midway, we have crossed 50% of the milestones. And there is a major change to the system architecture. The question is, if they give us major change, should I do something because it's a software, either agile, could be agile, non-agile also, we don't know, could be. But should I evaluate or should I escalate or should I implement? That's a question. I got a strong argument from Nanda Kumar and Shiv Kumar saying that, hey, you know what? When such a major things comes, first understand what is the impact. Then let's decide: should I touch scope? Should I touch schedule? Cost sounds nice. But when it coming midway, should I really do this or escalate to someone and even you stop that change itself coming? Why not see? I'm just challenging people here. Why not see? Why don't I why don't I stop this whole process because I'm midway?
so without understanding that impact, see how we can push back that.
Even we go with senior management, they will ask the question whether you evaluated or check the background, something.
Okay, let us go by this way. There is something called risk management, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, one of your mic is repeating. I never know, my voice looks so bad when I hear myself. Sorry, guys. So now there is something called risk management. In risk management, we see that there are certain risk level. We call it as a high risk. It could be moderate level risk, or that could be some low level risk. Now, a risk which is very high in situation, when I say the situation, we call as a probability and we call it as impact. If anyone heard about it, probability and impact. So in this probability impact, we see that at 90% there is a chance of happening. What is the impact of happening? Maybe the cost can go 2 million over budget. So when I know the probability, when I know the impact, accordingly I can take an action. Now, what kind of action I can take? That action could be I can avoid that risk happening. I can mitigate that risk. I can't avoid it, I have to handle it. Or I can even escalate that risk, which means I can't handle it, somebody else can handle it. The point I want to convey here is it is not all the risk which I have to step in and do something. I can even pass to someone to handle it. But good thing I'm hearing from you in the room here is, Shri, nice, but at least tell me what is the impact. Without knowing the impact, there is no point on going here. Yeah. So now, who will do this evaluation of this situation now? Let's imagine B is a good answer, but who will do this evaluation?
Yeah, so Shri, evaluation needs to be done within the team and the SME, right? Because the software which we are developing might be like an integrated with the different modules or different systems as well. So we need to understand how this new architecture or the proposed change is going to impact other modules or the other systems. For example, let's suppose if we talk about any banking modules we just discussed about, so that might, for example, let's suppose I'm just talking about a simple login functionality. Okay, so that login functionality, the requirement which came in like that, we just need to right have the user ID and password, right? And the session timeout should be like 5 seconds or whatever time they decided upon. Now they came in like a one change, right? They said like whenever you are just putting the user ID and password, in that case it is going to give you a OTP, for example. So that is a new change which came in, right? Though it is simple, it is not going to change any architecture or anything, but that is a major change, right? Why? Because they implemented a new functionality that is again going to change our architecture, how what system needs to be there in place, which is going to store the message templates, which is going to store your email templates. For example, let's suppose like that OTP is going in email, right? So that must be somewhere stored, like acoustic that we can see the Quadient, right? Different databases that we have in place. And also like we have different other parallel systems like EIP or who just going to trigger the transactions. For example, you clicked on the login button. Yeah. So in that case, first we need to understand, evaluate the impact, right? And also change on scope, right? Whether they want to change only email they want, or that SMS they want, or they want both, right? That for that OTP. So that is scope where we need to understand, and also we need to understand the schedule, right? And also how much cost. For example, let's suppose we are including acoustic, right? A database, new database that is for templates that is being stored for email and SMS. So how much that vendor is going or the tool is costing us. So that sort of a analysis that we need to do for the architecture change. That's
Deep
my
analysis.
understanding.
Very good. Thanks for the detailed explanation. I really liked it. I want to listen to Kannan. Kannan, you're saying that I want to escalate it. That's your answer. What is your thought there?
Yeah, my thought is already midway. As very clearly you explained, you so many deliverable, maybe so many phase already we done. So in this situation, if you change definitely lot of blindly we can just assume lot of impact definitely will be there. So better, I think we need to escalate to senior again. Senior management, what to be done basically. This is what just my understanding basically, because all other option anyway is not at all valid. Only this B and C. So C, I think I feel is the better option.
Then let me challenge you. When you escalate, what is going to happen? What will happen? Your first action is you're escalating. Okay, what is next?
Uh, 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 Maybe senior management can support us, maybe discuss with customer whether any changes can be done, or maybe sponsor can support, maybe budget, maybe he can increase or whatever just they can do, maybe uh, you know uh, might be.
So That's what Nandakumar or Shivakumar saying that, right? If I want to increase a budget, I need to know what is the impact. If without that, how I'll increase the budget.
No, no,
So
no. This
you
is the first you see is the first action you said, right? So first, just I'm informing to senior management. That's all.
okay
Is the first.
informing. Okay,
Is the
okay,
first.
not
Is the,
escalate, informing.
yeah,
Hmm.
is escalating means of course this so and so so and so. This is the key stakeholder is
Hmm.
telling is done. Just I
Okay,
escalating thing, and further of
all right.
course whatever decision of course maybe together with senior management can be done basically.
Okay, okay, okay. Good. Thanks, Krishnan. Thanks, Kannan, for giving the thought process. I'll give the reveal the right answer now, and then
Can
I'll
I add
reveal.
something?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
Maybe
Balaji.
it can be like I have a thought of B, but
Hmm.
in case if the evaluation of impact of scope, schedule, and cost is taking too much time, it is always
Hmm.
better to give the information or escalation to the senior management first. Maybe that can be the answer.
Okay, let's be a bit careful here. Giving information is different, escalation is different. Information is you're notifying there is a change request came in and we are in progress of evaluating. That is information. Escalation means there is a risk here and someone from management should interfere and do something here. That's escalation. So you
Yeah.
have two actions. Second one is you're giving action item to management. First one is no action item, only they have to observe. So you have to be very careful on this.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah?
but Shri is the just clue add is the
Ah,
major change in the system architecture. You know,
okay,
so
okay,
this is
okay.
just definitely is not any minor change or maybe within team change CCB.
Ah,
So
also,
this was just assuming that's what again midway there's one a shortcut, one point, and then again major change in the system
I
architecture
will
itself.
I will show you midway and major. For these two words, I will explain in next one more slide where I show you why change management is happening. Then we'll come to the answer. So first, thanks a lot for everyone giving a discussion on B and C. I was challenging sometime B is a good answer. Sometimes I was challenging C is a good answer just to make you to talk. So the right answer goes to B. Okay, I know some of you defended for C also. It is a good process, which means on the first thing you will first assess anything in change. First thing is you will assess. No other go. You will not touch anything. First you will check is it worth. But why it is? Because I was defending for B, I was defending for C. Let's see both in a way how it works. Now, beyond the answer, why change is happening? Take a look of this one. This understanding will help you to handle many change management questions. Why change is happening? So now someone is coming and telling that there is a major change in architecture. I don't think someone will blindly tell change architecture. There should be a reason behind this, isn't it? There should be a reason, right? Without a reason, somebody will not come and tell, go and change it. So now what happened here is to make the project safe, secured, stable, and very consistent performing, I have to look for a better system, better architecture, right? So now point is, as SME, subject matter expert, can bring in a change. But the change, it is not always acceptable. What it mean here is we have something called change control board, which will take a look of the impact analysis what we made. And they will check, are we going away? Scope creep. Am I creeping away? We'll check, is there any creep happening? And they keep the project aligned with the goal. That's a responsibility of CCB, Change Control Board. They have to watch, am I in a track? Am I going away from the track? However, it is responsibility of SME to propose better way of working. You cannot tell that the project is midway. It's a crappy architecture we started. Because it's midway, I will keep quiet. Can I do like that? Is it a value addition for the company? You think so? If
No.
if in middle of the project also, if I understood there is something wrong, I will look for benefit of my customer, which means I will say, yes, there is something wrong. How can I patch it up? How can I make it better? I will work on better way of doing. But better way of doing does not mean you will stop all the work and jump to this work, because there is a cost involved. Now, you all have to understand something called COD. I'm sure you've seen this in the class before. There is something called COD. What COD stands for?
Cost of delay.
Cost of delivery.
Cost of delay.
Delay,
Cost
delay.
of Right. So as I said, in 2024, you started some banking system. In 2025, you realize there is an architectural problem. If I don't fix this problem here, and it is going to grow as a product for 2026, do you think there'll be a major hack in the system in the year 2026, which can make you to lose millions of dollars in the market? On that day, can I call it's an expensive change, and can I call that as a cost of delay? Can I call like that? Which means when you have an architectural change coming up midway here, I can ignore it, but that's going to cost me heavily sometime later. Now, point here is it is not about ignoring or pushing the change. Rather, first, if this change comes in, what kind of impact it will bring inside? I'm going to sit and talk with my team. So now I will keep whether my project is aligned. Is there any creep happening? Right? I will the change control, there is a board called change control board. Their role is keep a check. Am I having proper communication with the stakeholders? Am I having agility? These all will happen. But who is doing this? Look at here. If someone don't know what is CCB stands for change control board. Now look at this. Who all part of CCB? Do you recognize any of these roles? What you see here in the screen? Have you seen these roles in your company? Do they exist?
Yes.
Like maybe you have manager, sponsor, technical expert, analyst. What is the specialty of bringing them inside this board when they want to decide this major architectural change should be taken or rejected? For which I'm inviting representative from all this group of people. Now you tell me, what is the benefit of having a sponsor there? What is the benefit of having technical expert there? Any thoughts from you? Why I should have them in the board?
To understand the impact of those technical field, maybe
But you did
cost
already
perspective.
impact analysis, right? You did an impact analysis. These guys are reviewing the impact analysis.
But whatever I'm doing, whether it is right or wrong, how it is going to impact, that they will contribute and they are going to support me
Mhm.
throughout the project.
So they are a decision makers,
Correct.
right? So these are decision makers includes maybe you are the manager, maybe you are a technical manager. Now what happened here is we do a proper impact analysis before I start doing the change and pass on to somebody called the CCB. In CCB have these guys who are capable of taking a decision. What kind of decision they can make? They can tell we accept this change, we reject this change, we defer this change, which means they can even hold this change request for a while until you get more clarification. Now, where we are heading up here is when a major architectural change comes in, I cannot do directly. Rather, I will first do the impact analysis of what kind of change it is. If I bring this a change, what all can happen? Like we listened from Kumar, he was giving a lot of examples. What it's going to do here? And I will pass on to CCB. In CCB, they can take some decision call. Yes, Balaji, what do you have?
So we have a configuration management department, which send a change management request, and we have two things. One is a internal change management, and another is a customer base. So
Oh,
CIB. So
okay.
whenever there is a process change we request for the manufacturing purpose, either from production purpose or any other inter-department, then we will inform all the team through email that this is a change we want for this operation or part. And after that, they conduct an ICM meeting, internal change management. In that, they discuss what are all the actions to be taken, what will be the impact, and those things they will document and they will keep it for the customers whenever there is an audit or something. And
Interesting.
for the customer based changes, customer will give us the change requests, and we do the impact analysis and what are the changes required. According
Nice.
that also will be submitted back to the customer. So that's how we work here.
Good to know. Good to know. Which industry it is, Balaji?
It's a aero engine manufacturing company.
Mm,
So
mm.
based
Interesting.
on
Good to know. Thanks for telling Balaji. Now, as we hear about change management is a primarily followed in a plan-driven project, maybe a construction project. But we are talking a software industry project. We have to be a little careful here. Even though the software industry starts using Agile last 10, 15, 20 years, some of these companies are there in the market for last 50 years. They are very used to follow change management for decades. But Agile don't highly recommend change management for every small work because Agile itself more change oriented. However, be very careful in exam also. Whenever you see a major, bigger changes, even today in the real world, change management comes into picture because even though it's agile oriented product or a project development, a major change is a full shake in the system. As I said, a banking system, somebody is going to change a architecture. Initially, they were following a Windows server. Now they want to move to Linux server. I believe this basic, you may know that what is Windows, what is Linux. In a banking system, moving from Windows to Linux is very huge. But Shri, it's a software, just change it. No, you cannot. It has its own complications. So you cannot just do it. You have to sit and talk. What is the budget involved? What is the situation involved? Do we have enough resources? Do we have a licensing for that? Can I do troubleshooting? What all can happen? Is there any country related regulations? I have to check all these parameters. For which reason I need a proper department to work. So in question paper, when I see small level changes at an agile, team can take a call. When it comes to major level, even in agile projects, they look for CCP kind of a board who can evaluate it. Whereas when it goes to plan driven project, many things will travel through CCB because they want to prevent one thing which is called scope creep. Scope creep means what you planned, you are going away from that. It's creeping away. You thought to do something, but you're not doing that, you're doing something else. Right? So the point is you divert yourself energy in some other place, which will happen with more changes. Yeah, that's what's coming in. Interesting topic, right? Good discussion. Let me pause on here. Good.